Title: Return to the Endless Highway. As Mark and Sarah left the horrific memory of the Twilight Road Motel behind them, they continued their cross-country road trip, eager to put the nightmare in the rearview mirror. The cabin in the woods awaited them, and they hoped for a peaceful and romantic getaway. Little did they know that their journey was far from over, and the terrors of the endless highway would return with a vengeance. After hours of driving, they finally arrived at their destination, a charming cabin nestled deep within a remote forest. It was the picturesque getaway they had envisioned, surrounded by towering pines and the soothing sounds of nature. They unpacked their bags and settled in, determined to leave the horrors of the past behind. The first few days were idyllic. They hiked through the woods, had romantic picnics by the lake, and enjoyed the serenity of their surroundings. It was as if the nightmare on the endless highway had never happened. But on the fourth night of their stay, as they sat by the crackling fireplace, an unexpected chill crept into the cabin. The flames flickered and dimmed, and a haunting, otherworldly melody began to fill the air. Mark and Sarah exchanged nervous glances. "It can't be," Mark whispered, his voice trembling. Sarah nodded, her eyes wide with fear. The eerie music grew louder, surrounding them, and they realized with dread that the haunting melody was the same one they had heard in the Twilight Road Motel. Without warning, the cabin's walls seemed to stretch and warp, transforming into the endless highway that had haunted their nightmares. They were trapped once more, but this time within the confines of their peaceful getaway. They stumbled outside, hoping to escape, but the forest had become an impenetrable maze of trees that stretched endlessly in every direction. The very nature that had once brought them solace now imprisoned them in a nightmarish version of the world. Desperation set in as they tried to find a way out of this surreal nightmare. They wandered through the forest for what felt like hours, encountering eerie, ghostly figures along the way. These spectral beings whispered cryptic warnings and lured them deeper into the twisted woods. As they pressed forward, they stumbled upon an old, weathered signpost, its letters barely legible. It read, "The Endless Highway, relive your past mistakes." Mark and Sarah exchanged a glance, realization dawning upon them. This was a twist, echo of their previous ordeal, a malevolent force that sought to replay their past fears and mistakes. The relentless forest led them to encounters with nightmarish visions from their past, lost loved ones, haunting regrets, and unresolved guilt. The malevolent presence seemed to feed on their emotions, growing stronger with each tormenting memory. But Mark and Sarah refused to succumb. They remembered the lessons they had learned on the endless highway before, how they had gathered pieces of history to escape the motel's clutches. This time, they needed to confront their own pasts, their deepest fears, and put their lingering regrets to rest. As they faced their demons head-on, the forest began to change. The trees no longer closed in around them, and the haunting music faded into the distance. The spectral figures that had tormented them dissipated like smoke on the wind. Mark and Sarah emerged from the forest, their resolve stronger than ever. They found themselves back at the cabin, but this time, it was truly peaceful. The crackling fire was warm and inviting, and there were no signs of the malevolent presence that had trapped them before. Their road trip had taken another dark turn, but they had emerged from it stronger and wiser. The endless highway had tried to replay their past mistakes, but Mark and Sarah had found the strength to confront their demons and break free. As they left the cabin in the woods, they knew that their journey was far from over, and new adventures awaited them. But they also carried with them the knowledge that they could face any challenge, no matter how terrifying, as long as they faced it together.